Hey everyone, welcome back to English So-So. I'm Sam.
And I'm Jordan. And today we're diving deep into something that, well, honestly changed both our lives. Effective English learning strategies.
Oh, you're talking about our disaster stories, aren't you? Like that time I tried to memorize the entire dictionary?
Oh no, not the dictionary story. Okay, everyone, picture this. Jordan, age 16, thinking he could become fluent by memorizing every word from A to Z.
How far did you get?
Aardvark to, uh, abacus. That's it. 2 words and I gave up.
That's actually better than my first approach. I bought like 15 different grammar books and thought I could just absorb English through osmosis.
The classic mistake. We think English learning is about collecting resources instead of actually using the language.
Exactly. So today we're sharing what actually works. The strategies we wish someone had told us years ago. We're talking about the mindset shifts, the practical techniques, and honestly, some pretty embarrassing mistakes we made along the way.
And if you're listening and thinking, oh, I'll never be able to speak like them, trust me, we've been exactly where you are. The difference is just time and the right approach.
So grab your coffee, tea, or whatever keeps you motivated, and let's get into it.
All right, Jordan, let's start with the big one, mindset, because I feel like this is where most people get stuck before they even begin.
Oh, absolutely. The number one thing I hear is, I'm not good at languages, or I'm too old to learn. And it's like, mate, I failed French 3 times in school.
Wait, really? You never told me that.
3 times! My teacher literally said I had no aptitude for languages. And here I am now, fluent in English and starting to learn Spanish. That's actually perfect because it proves the point. There's no such thing as being bad at languages. There are just ineffective methods and limiting beliefs.
Exactly. So the first mindset shift is this. Stop thinking about talent and start thinking about systems. What daily habits are you building?
And here's something that really changed my perspective. Embrace being a beginner. I used to be so embarrassed about making mistakes that I barely spoke for like 2 years.
Oh, the fear of judgment. I remember being in a coffee shop in London, wanting to order a simple latte, but I stood in line for 10 minutes rehearsing the sentence.
No way. What happened?
I got to the counter and completely blanked, just pointed at the menu, like a confused tourist. The barista was lovely, though, very patient.
But that's the thing. Most people are actually really understanding. We build up these scenarios in our heads that are way worse than reality.
Absolutely. And here's what I learned. Every mistake is data. Every awkward conversation is practice. You're not failing, you're collecting experience points.
I love that. Experience points. Like we're in a video game leveling up our English skills.
Exactly. And just like in gaming, consistency beats intensity. 20 minutes daily is infinitely better than cramming for 4 hours once a week.
Okay, let's get practical. Jordan, what's your number one technique that you swear by?
Shadowing, hands down. But not the way most people think about it.
Ooh, explain that. Because I know a lot of our listeners have heard about shadowing, but maybe aren't doing it effectively.
Right. So most people think shadowing is just repeating words robotically. But effective shadowing is about embodying the speaker. You're trying to copy their rhythm, their emotion, their energy.
Yes, it's like acting almost.
Exactly. I remember practicing with Gordon Ramsay cooking videos, not because I wanted to learn cooking vocabulary, but because his energy is so infectious.
Gordon Ramsay? That's actually brilliant. His passion comes through so clearly.
Right? And when you shadow someone with that much energy, you can't help but engage emotionally with the language. Plus, his pronunciation is crystal clear despite the colorful language.
Speaking of emotional engagement, that's my secret weapon. Choose content you actually care about.
Oh, tell me more about this.
So instead of studying with boring textbook dialogues about going to the post office, I used content I was genuinely interested in. For me, it was cooking shows, travel vlogs, and honestly, reality TV.
Reality TV for language learning? That's genius.
Think about it. The conversations are natural. There's emotion, drama, real reactions. It's like a masterclass in conversational English.
And you're learning cultural context at the same time. How people actually speak when they're excited, angry, surprised.
Exactly. Textbooks don't teach you that, oh my gosh, can be said in like 15 different ways, depending on the situation.
That reminds me of another strategy, contextual vocabulary learning. Sam, you're really good at this.
Oh, you mean the story method?
Yes. Can you explain it for our listeners?
Sure. So instead of memorizing isolated words, I create little stories or scenarios. Like, instead of just learning exhausted, delighted, frustrated, I'd create, after the exhausting job interview, Maria was delighted to get the position, but frustrated that it took so long to hear back.
And your brain remembers the story, which means it remembers all the vocabulary in context.
Plus, you're learning grammar structures naturally, like how delighted is often followed by to plus a verb.
That's brilliant. And that leads into my next point, pattern recognition over rule memorization.
Okay, let's talk about some of the more advanced stuff. Jordan, what's the biggest mistake you see intermediate learners making?
Oh, this is a big one. Perfectionism paralysis. They get to an intermediate level and then become terrified of making mistakes.
Yes! It's like when you're a beginner, every word you learn feels like progress, but intermediate learners start comparing themselves to native speakers.
Exactly, and they stop taking risks with the language. I see people who can understand complex movies, but are afraid to join a conversation because they might use the wrong preposition.
But here's the thing, even native speakers make mistakes. I mixed up affect and effect until I was like 25.
25? Sam, you have a degree in English.
I know! That's exactly my point. Language is messy, it's alive, it's constantly changing. Perfection is not the goal, communication is.
And that brings me to another advanced tip. Start thinking in English, not translating.
Oh, this is huge. Jordan, how did you make that transition?
It happened gradually, but the breakthrough moment was when I started narrating my daily activities in English. Like, instead of thinking, I need to go to the store in my native language and then translating, I'd think directly, right, I need to pop to the shops.
Pop to the shops? So British.
Hey, it's authentic. But seriously, the internal monologue technique is incredibly powerful.
And it doesn't have to be perfect. Sometimes I catch myself thinking in this weird English-Spanish hybrid when I'm tired.
That's completely normal. Your brain is processing multiple language systems. The key is not to judge yourself for it.
Speaking of not judging yourself, let's talk about accent anxiety. This is something I struggled with for years.
Oh, tell me about it. I was so focused on sounding proper that I forgot the point was to communicate.
Exactly. I spent months trying to perfect an American accent, watching YouTube videos about tongue placement, and honestly, it was exhausting.
What changed for you?
I realized that clear communication matters more than perfect pronunciation. People don't care if you have an accent. They care if they can understand you.
And accents add character. Some of the most engaging speakers I know have strong accents. It's part of who they are.
All right, before we wrap up, let's give our listeners some concrete action steps they can take this week.
Yes, because we've covered a lot of ground today. Sam, what's step one?
Step 1. Choose one piece of content you genuinely enjoy. Could be a YouTube channel, a podcast, a TV show, something you'd watch even if you weren't learning English.
And step two, commit to 15 minutes of active engagement with that content daily. Not passive watching, but active, shadowing, taking notes, repeating phrases.
Step 3, start that internal monologue we talked about, even if it's just for 5 minutes while you're making breakfast or walking to work.
And step 4, find a way to use English socially.
Could be language exchange apps, conversation groups, or even just commenting on English YouTube videos.
The key is consistency over perfection. Small daily actions compound into massive progress over time.
And remember, we've all been where you are. Every fluent speaker was once a beginner who felt overwhelmed and made embarrassing mistakes.
Speaking of mistakes, Jordan, should we tell them about the time you asked for chicken feet instead of chicken breast at the restaurant?
Oh no, we're really doing this? Fine, yes, I accidentally ordered chicken feet because I confused breast and best, and somehow my brain went to feet.
And you ate them.
I was too embarrassed to correct the order. But you know what? The server was lovely, the other customers thought it was charming, and honestly, chicken feet aren't that bad.
See? Even our biggest failures become good stories. Don't let fear of mistakes stop you from engaging with English.
Absolutely. And if you try any of these techniques, we'd love to hear about your experience. Leave a comment, send us a message. We read everything.
Yes, and if you have specific topics you'd like us to cover in future episodes, let us know. This podcast is for you, and we want to make sure we're addressing what you need. And remember, keep practicing, keep making mistakes, and remember, every conversation is progress.
See you next week, and happy learning.
Bye, everyone.